everyone, it's Kody from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am doing well. It's November 14th, 2022. There was an episode of Sister Wives last night about a kidney. Okay, that's what he said. I think he meant like in the heart, but he said kidney. Anyways, Kody Brown has a meltdown when Christine decides to tell him that she's leaving and moving to Utah. This conversation was pretty eye-opening, and it actually caused me to go back in time and watch a bunch of the tell-alls from previous seasons to really get a handle on the extensiveness of their marriage, Christine and Kody's, as well as his marriage with Meri, because he freaking drags Meri under the bus in this video, in this episode, and Meri gets very thirsty and almost like seemingly flirts with Kody in the middle of him yelling at Christine. It is so weird. So if you're Kody Brown and you are at the end of your rope and you've already had conversations ad nauseum with Christine, they've already talked about their marriage multiple times. They had the first episode, literally, where they sat in their office and argued the whole time. The next episode, they talked about Truly. Throughout this whole season, they have been unraveling this entire marriage, and for some reason he needs to do this yet again, even after it's over. Kody is someone that sends a lot of mixed signals. He wants Christine to go, but he doesn't want her to go. He's happy she's leaving, but he's not happy. He's angry, but he's sad. It's a hot mess, and in the midst of all of that, he is going to hurt her and anyone else that sides with her. So this first video, we're going to just talk about a few things that came up in this conversation, and we will be doing multiple videos to kind of discuss the entirety of this episode, because stuff that happened with Janelle at the very end had my jaw on the floor. Before we get into it, can you do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed, and turn the notifications on so you know when I go live and new content loads. Make sure to ring the bell. That's what it is. And then also leave some comments if you have something to say. Thank you all so much who have recently subscribed. I'm well on my way to hitting the goal of having 300,000 subscribers of you following me by the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. So let's talk about this. So the episode sort of like takes back, it starts off where it ended last week, where, you know, Kody is kind of like lamenting about the relationships that he's leaving, and they are trying to dissect things. I don't know why, because Christine's literally just said, my house is off the market, someone bought it, I'm moving. I mean, that should have really been the end of the conversation. And a lot of people were like, I don't know why Christine even allowed this to play out. And I'm like, well, ratings. I mean, the episode sort of starts out where they're sort of talking about like, when did this all fall apart? And Kody says that he thinks that she had wanted to leave since their conversation about Utah. If you remember a couple seasons ago, the whole look at the mountains, look at the mountains, look at the mountains, when Christine said she couldn't do marriage with Kody anymore. After he basically shut down her interest in moving back to Utah after polygamy was decriminalized. And Christine felt that he was on board with her and then kind of threw her under the bus. This was all something that was said when these episodes aired 2 years ago, okay? None of this should surprise you. So they try to like get away from that conversation because it doesn't matter, right? But then Kody somehow decides, instead of like, you know, when he starts getting questioned by Robyn, like, were you supportive of moving to Utah? You could tell that this was the first time I could actually tell that he's lying to not only Christine, Janelle, and Meri, but he's also lying to Robyn. So as much as we don't like Robyn, you have to remember that Kody lies to her too. Anyways, he changes the direction of the conversation because he wasn't getting the angle that he wanted. Obviously, gaslight, deflection, projection, all of that. And he decides that he is going to say that, you know, the reason why this is all falling apart is because it's Christine's fault, because she decided that it was all about the man and not about the family, and how she had been on television for so many years saying, I wanted the man, I wanted the family, I didn't want the man. I wanted the sister wives, I didn't want the man. And he says she became all about the man, not about the sister wives, not about the family, which is so false. I mean, I guess 27 years isn't enough to prove that you're there for the family, and then suddenly you just like, bye? No, I think she was miserable for all of that time. So as you saw in the very beginning of this video, Kody says to Christine, like, I couldn't believe this. He says, you entered into this family to get out of a mess, that I was in. Basically admitting that his relationships with Janelle and Meri were so awful that he had to bring in a third wife to get him out of the mess that he was in. Making her job to be the fixer, making her job to be the one that makes everything like easy, the placater, the serving Kody, serving the family. Like I brought you in as a servant to make sure that everyone got along. I mean, that's gross. And then Meri admittedly gets a little annoyed by that because she recognizes the fact that Kody is talking about her when he says that I was in a mess. Can you imagine having someone admit to you in front of cameras, I only brought you into this marriage because I was in a pickle with my other two wives. I hated them and I needed someone else to like help me out of the mess. Gross. 27 years, like ripping a Band-Aid off fast. I feel like 27 years is like trying to like slowly, methodically, like make every hair just like make sure it hurts while you're pulling off the Band-Aid. Does he really equate her staying around for the family as quickly ripping off the Band-Aid? Meri admits that she was jealous and that they were all young and they were trying to navigate different emotions, and they, you know, obviously were not doing things very well due to their age, immaturity, blah, blah, blah. And so she's upset that Kody would suggest that the problem is their marriage and that Christine came in to save the day. I mean, clearly, you would think that would be enough for Meri to be like, I'm so on Christine's side here. But it's not. Not at all. And Kody just continues to go on and on and on about the marriage and not the man and not the marriage. And it doesn't even make sense because for years on the show, by the way, they all said that Kody was this great husband that cared specifically for each one of the wives and was doing things for each one of the wives and nurtured the relationships of each one of the wives. He said that. He said a love that multiplies is not divided, right? He said he had the capacity to be there for all of his wives and provide for all of his wives. And now he's saying, well, you wanted me to provide for you and that's too much. What?
I think that's a low blow. I think she was about the family. She's been about the family. She's been about the kids. It just doesn't work anymore. And why be miserable for years, decades?
She may say she's divorced, but in my head, technically, she's not. So...
Don't word it. Just think about what I said.
No.
Soak in that.
Throughout this entire conversation, literally the only person that has Christine's back is Janelle. And she says that Christine was unhappy with Kody for decades, and she should not have been forced to stay in a situation, that it's a low blow for him to imply that she wasn't there for the family, which I agree. Robyn is in complete and utter denial and believes that she's not really divorced from Kody. Christine isn't. And as Kody is like continuing on and on and on about, you lied and said it was about the family and not the man, and you wanted me more than the family. When Christine tries to respond to that, he's just like, nope, you just need to like sit in that and marinate in that, and like you don't get to have a say in this. Like he's trying to control the conversation of saying like, you're the fault, you're the blame, and you don't get to defend yourself. And it's so disgusting. And you know, at this point, Janelle is just like, what? Like he literally just tried to shut her down. Like what is this patriarchy that he's doing? And Janelle says something like, you know, that's not the man that I was married to for all of these years, which had a lot of people then assuming that Janelle and Kody have split up, which I'm fair to say that's probably true at this point. But, you know, even Janelle recognizes that the fact that he won't even let Christine defend herself, it's atrocious behavior. And anytime Christine tries to open her mouth, he always shifts the blame and tries to blame her for something. Even if she spent her whole life trying to do everything for the family, which literally she did. She was like the family party planner and caterer. And what more did he want from her?
I've been heartbroken for years. For years.
It says, you know, we've always talked about the spokes of the wheel, and that in plural marriage, the spokes of the wheel all have to be together and for the wheel to move. And if you have a spoke that's broken, you have to either fix it or the wheel doesn't go. And she said, do you really think I would have stayed along for 27 years if I didn't care about the family? You know, and he's just like, I guess. Like, he knew he couldn't argue the fact that she literally has done everything for this family. She helped raise the kids so Janelle could work and Kody could work and Meri could work. She did schooling. She took care of the kids when they came home from school. She did homeschooling. She was the homemaker so they could all go make money for the family. So she was raising the 13 kids. What did he want? She was there for 27 years. And so then he's just like, I guess. Like, because he knew he was wrong. Instead of saying, I'm sorry, I accused you of that. He never says he's sorry. Then he will go on and say basically that, the reason why he's mad is because he's getting a divorce. And you're supposed to be mad when you're getting a divorce. And he feels like he's put this huge investment into something and he's being rejected. And it all comes down to he's being rejected despite everything he did. And that's why he's mad. And so he's basically just admitting to having a narcissistic injury. I was rejected. Now I'm mad. I mean, he couldn't have said it any more clear. Energy. He did the bare minimum, you guys. He kissed her and he held her hand. Oh my gosh. He wasn't in love with her, and it was a duty for her to do that, for him to do this with her. And then he's like, she doesn't love me either, right? But we did this, and now she's leaving, and she's not just breaking up with me, she's breaking up with the family. And she's not only rejecting me, but she's rejecting some of my kids and my wives. Kody doesn't have wives that she's rejecting. Kody said in the same literally last week, said that Meri could leave and marry another. He said that he didn't even consider himself married to Meri. So how is she rejecting a wife that he doesn't even consider his wife? Makes no sense. She's not rejecting Janelle. So he's really just talking about Robyn. He's talking about Robyn and Robyn's kids. That's it. You're rejecting my favorite wife and my favorite kids. Why should she be forced to stick around for a man that doesn't show up ever? It's an obligation for him to even touch her and kiss her. Does he even realize how ridiculous he sounds? I don't think that he even knows what he's saying. Or if he does, he's just, throwing anything at a wall. So it's her fault that the kids are mad. It's her fault that the kids don't like her. She's the one that's running around when we know that's not true. Then Janelle tries to blame it on grief. It's not grief. He's just being a jerk. They always give him an out when there's no out to take. He doesn't have to act like this, but he is. And when he doesn't get the response that he wants from other people and he's just the one talking, then he starts to look for reinforcements. And he tries to get Meri to gang up on Christine and go off. And it's so awkward. So awkward. Did you see the look on her face? Meri's, when Kody actually acknowledged that she was in the same room with him and got a little bit flirty. I mean, he wasn't flirting with her, but he's just trying to manipulate her to say something by being kind to her and a little bit sweet, right? And she takes this as oh my gosh, he's throwing me some scraps. The face is it's like a little girl in school whose crush is looking at her and paying attention to her when she's been rejected constantly. And then that crush is finally acknowledging that she's there. It's so thirsty. It's desperate. It makes me sad that this is what she's amounting to. This is a woman that's on her Instagram daily. I'm so empowered. And then she gets excited when he's asking her, back me up. Help me verbally abuse Christine. Please, I'm drowning. Isn't someone else going to say something? Because he says Meri's got a look on her face. And then she lies. And she says that she doesn't have anything to say. I mean, she had RBF the entire time. Literally. I mean, and I have RBF, so I get it. But she looked angry the whole time. But she admits that it's not her place to say anything. At all. So she won't say anything. And then Robyn, being the good girl, the obedient one, is the one that steps in and has to say something. And then this is how Kody, she's the flying monkey. So he's calling the flying monkeys. Come on in, everyone. Flying monkeys, dissipate, go. Meri doesn't want to be the flying monkey today. So Robyn's going to be the flying monkey, and she's going to start crying. And she's going to start finding a way to say something to Christine to reinforce Kody's narrative so that Kody can then scream and yell and get really verbally abusive.
You're married to somebody who's loyal and loving, but she's been going through it with me. She came in this family.
So it just shows you that Robyn, when Kody calls, will do whatever she says. She will do what he says when he says jump and she says how high. I know people say that she's a narcissist. I don't believe it. I believe she's codependent. I believe she has a trauma bond to Kody. I don't like Robyn. I think she's manipulative. I think she's conniving, but I also think that she's doing all of this as a means to the end for her kids, and she wanted a way out of poverty. So she's not the ideal sister wife, but she's the perfect person for Kody because she will do whatever he says because she wants the life that he gives her. And she does.
Now, I kind of need it that way.
For the entirety of their marriage, Kody has been telling everyone, specifically Robyn, that her kids are being rejected. And Robyn has felt that her kids are being rejected, probably because Kody is telling her that her kids are being rejected, right? He is telling her things so that she doesn't trust her sister wives. And then he's telling the sister wives things about Robyn so they don't trust her. He's making these people not get along. He's pitting them against each other. He's triangulating them so that they can't unite and talk about things. So it's uncomfortable and so that they don't get along. Because in Kody's world, if the women actually got along and spoke to each other in a meaningful way, they would probably realize that they're more similar than they are different, and that they also might realize that the things that Kody is telling them are not true. But if you divide them and you make Robyn feel persecuted and victimized, and you make Christine feel like the bully, and then she's telling Christine probably lies about things that get her mad, and then Robyn's like, my kids are being persecuted, right? And he's just like, oh, my wife is being rejected. And then he uses that as a means to bully Christine, which he does. He gets up, he starts screaming because Robyn asks Christine if Christine wants to have a relationship with her. And Christine says, no, I just want space. And then Kody uses that as a way to justify abusing Christine. It's a cycle. Robyn is feeling rejected because Kody has told her, they're not just rejecting me, they're rejecting you too, right? And then, but he's the one that made the choice. He's the one that made the choice to not have a good relationship with Christine. He's the one that made the choice to not put in the time and the effort. He's the one that put in those choices, right? And he's going to say, well, it's Christine's fault. It's not mine. I didn't do anything. Even though he's the common denominator, folks. He got what he wanted, right? He wanted just Robyn. That's all he wanted. He wanted out of this, but he wanted just Robyn, right? Robyn just wanted security and Kody. Kody wants out of this mess. So he's making them all the bad. Robyn's the damsel in distress. And he's going to rescue her. And so he gets all screaming and yelling, and he starts rescuing her because, Christine rejected her.
She's treated you like dirt from the very beginning. That's the relationship you have with her. You never tried to have a really good relationship with these other people. And that's the reason I'm pissed off. You wanted to renegotiate a relationship with me, but you wouldn't even have a decent one with them. Man, just the knife in the kidneys over all these years. And the sacrifices that I made to love you. Wasted.
So I wanted to just sort of like pull this all together by showing you how that played out. He called for reinforcements, right? He called on Meri to say something. Meri didn't say anything. Meri got all googly-eyed and got excited, but she didn't say anything because she said it wasn't her place. Robyn initially said that she was having a bad day, but she would do better the next time. Then she found a way to say something to Christine, and so she asks Christine a question which is effectively going to tell her she's being rejected, right? Robyn then says, okay, so are you cutting off contact with those of us that you don't really have a relationship with? And then Kody uses that when Christine responds by saying, no, I need space. And that's how Kody justifies him blowing up, okay? So you rejected her. I told you she was going to reject you, Robyn, and now she's rejecting you. And then he can stand up because Christine has rejected her, right? And he can then justify this outburst because because Christine is rejecting Meri and Robyn, even though they've never had a relationship for years. So it's not really a rejection, right? But it's his justification that he uses to verbally abuse her. And that's how Robyn facilitated it. It's really disgusting when you see it played out like that. And it gets worse.
Here with a broken family over it.
So that whole buildup, all of that was leading to Kody being able to blame Christine for breaking up the family because she didn't have good relationships with Robyn and Meri. He got Robyn to ask the question. He got Christine to admit that she wouldn't have a relationship with them, which then got Robyn upset, which then made him, in his weird mind, be able to say, see, this is it. This is why everything is the way it is. It's your fault. And you're going to take the kids. You're breaking up the family. It's because of you. You tried to correct it. I told you to correct it, but you wouldn't. You've just made all of these decisions, you know, and Christine's just sitting there like not even responding. And in her interview says that at this point, she's had this argument with him for years. And there's no point. She's tired of it because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he's yelling. It doesn't matter that he's screaming. It doesn't matter what he's saying because it doesn't matter. Their relationship is over. And she's not going to keep fighting with him about the same things that they've been fighting for, right? And Kody then storms off and he goes to the car and he's upset, right? And nobody follows him, by the way. Nobody. The rest just sort of sit there like deer in headlights. And Janelle goes up to Christine to give her a hug, right? And Christine is just like sort of dumbfounded at this point. Like, I don't know. I didn't mean to do any of these things. And Janelle is like, don't worry about it. Like, it's literally just emotions. He'll cool off, right? Like trying to just say that he's worked up. He's upset. And Meri then chimes in defending what Kody did. It's horrible.
Now that she's leaving, I just felt like...
I'm glad he said it.
So after all this is said and done, right? After everything is like said and done, he's like screaming, yelling. He's like, I wish you well, this, that, the other thing. Like, I'm glad you came and I'm glad you're leaving. It's so weird. And he says that, you know, Christine's going to run around. She's going to run her yappers and she's going to tell the kids that he didn't love her. By the way, the kids didn't need to hear anything. They can see how the dad treats them and her. They can witness his complete verbal abuse here. They don't need to be told anything, right? And he can just run off and then he can say that he can't believe that Janelle would be sympathetic to Christine and that she's taking Christine's side when he's the one going through the divorce because he's always the victim, right? And Janelle's just trying to comfort Christine after she's getting verbally abused by him for literally no reason other than Robyn starts crying after he laid the trap for Robyn to walk into to create the whole thing, right? And Janelle's like, it takes two. Being a good sister wife is a two-way street. And implying that relationships can't work one-sided, right? So if both sides are not working, it's two sides. It's not either one's fault, right? And that you have to be willing to work on things both sides. And unfortunately, that didn't happen, right? And instead of Meri being really sad to see Christine verbally abused like this, because mind you, Meri's been verbally abused the same way. He's thrown the same allegations towards her. He's completely accused her of doing the exact same things. And she says Kody was justified. Justified in saying this, justified in the verbal abuse, justified in doing it. And you can tell she's glad that it was said. You can tell that she's mad at Christine. It's a vindictive, vile thing to say, and it's disgusting. So the next time Meri says that she's empowered on Instagram, just remember that this is how she acts, you know, in real life. And it ends literally with all of them walking off. Robyn walks off, doesn't say anything. Meri walks off. Meri says not one word to Christine. Robyn says, okay, bye. I wish you well. And then Meri just follows Robyn and then they go off and they start crying. Meri says nothing except to defend Kody privately in the interview. And that's how it ends. And Christine's left with the deer in headlights, like, what the heck just happened here?
Through the years, as I have had issues with Christine, to approach her, to try to talk to her, to text her, to call her, I was met with walls, rejection.
I feel like there's been some things said against me behind my back. Do I want to be friends with someone who complains about me behind my back? Well, not right now. Leaving and getting away is definitely the right thing to do. But I'm sorry I'm leaving a mess behind.
The problem in this family, on top of polygamy, is there's no safety. Because if you tell someone one thing and then they run to Kody and tell them, there's no safety in telling that person anything. So if she confides, if say Christine confides in Meri and then Meri runs to Kody and tells him, or if she confides in Robyn and then Robyn goes and runs to Kody or goes and runs to Meri and she tells them, or vice versa, if they confide in Christine and then Christine runs to Kody and they tell them. It does go both ways. Christine does complain about the sister wives. They probably complain about her, but though Kody in his clip was like, nope, it's not the other sister wives that complain. BS. They all complain about each other. It's a unhealthy dynamic. You can't build trust when you can't trust the person that you confide in won't tell someone what you're saying. There's no trust. There's no basis of having a solid foundation in a family when everyone is looking out for number one. And it's Kody that's demanding the information. Kody's like the cult leader of all of these women, and he's probably asking for their confessionals about what's going on in their lives and any drama that's happening with them. And they confide in him. Robyn's like, I never talk about my sister wives to Kody. Yeah, right. We know that's not true. Not at all. And Meri's like, everyone in this family talks about everyone. Kody's like, nope, it's only Christine. And then Christine's like, well, Robyn just stabs me in the back. I mean, they're all backstabbers, right? But it doesn't matter. It was an unhealthy family. And Christine says, I recognize that and I want out. And they still can't let it go. And then they all storm off and start crying. So 3 people that literally are not the victims in the situation are playing the victim. But Kody did create this situation. And in a way, Robyn was victimized by what Kody did. Because he yelled and he screamed and he said, she's the victim, right? Making her feel like the victim, making her feel like an injustice has happened to her because she's claiming that Christine's doing all of these things to her, right? And he screams and he yells and he accuses Christine of being the one that's ruining everything. And so then she believes Kody because she's a dingbat and she's being ridiculous and she wants the money and whatever it is. And she falls prey to his manipulation. She manipulates him right back. She wants the money. He wants whatever she's got. You know, it's like a symbiotic relationship. But the truth is he literally abused all of these women in that moment, and they're all divided because of it. They will never unite because of it. They all backstab each other because of it, and it's all because of Kody. He is the common denominator that has created the dysfunction, and he won't take any accountability for it. And instead, Christine, ends up getting completely humiliated and verbally abused. And everyone on national television saw it. Her children saw it. And now the other women are acting like they were the victims. How disappointing and disgusting is that? Robyn might be sad, but it's just, it shows you, this is why I was saying I worry about her mental health. I think Kody literally has her believing things that are not true because he gaslights everyone. And he will turn on Janelle, and that's coming next. He's already starting. So tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.